Thank you for joining us for CNTV. I'm Brad Clonch.
And I'm Quin Tran. If you set a New Year's resolution, how are you keeping it?
When it comes to eating right, it can be tough to keep that promise to be healthy through the year.
We asked 2 Chickasaw Nation dietitians for advice. They say friends can play a big role.
Oftentimes you can set goals for yourself and you can be accountable to yourself for a certain period of time, but then you start making excuses or you get bored. It's more fun when you are working out or if you are going to lunch and going with someone that has the same goals in mind. So it's kind of our relationship building, but it's also our health, improving our health. So that's my first recommendation, is find someone to do it with you and commit with you.
So we have found an app on our phone that we do, and you can actually have friends on it. It's MyFitnessPal is what we're currently using, and it's free. It's free to anybody, so that's awesome. It will send you like little tidbits every so often and say, you're doing great, or congratulations, you've completed 20 days in a row of a food diary. So it gives you some little encouragement to continue. You can actually see somebody's food diary if you're a friend with them, and it tells them if you've went over the calorie limit, if you've been exercising. I know when I log in, I see Adrian has completed hers, and I'm like, oh, I need to get mine completed. So having it on black and white, be it in your phone, on your computer, on a piece of paper, that helps us. And I tell a lot of my patients, that's the first step. To me, I could give somebody no information. I could sit across from them and say, I'm not going to give you any information, just start keeping a food diary. And they're going to start eating healthy because they know that they're going to bring it back to me, and I'm going to kind of review over it and give them some suggestions. So they're automatically going to start eating healthier because you're writing it down.
The Chickasaw Nation has several nutrition services programs to help families get on the right path to good health.
Learn more about those programs by visiting Chickasaw.net.
You put it across right here and you buckle it.
Child safety experts say it's important to start early. Teach children the importance of buckling up properly. Sarah Hayes is a lead teacher at the Chickasaw Nation Child Development Center. She also teaches child car seat safety classes and conducts inspections, helping parents know how to properly install safety seats. Her work is being recognized. Ms. Hayes was honored recently as the Tribal Child Passenger Safety Instructor of the Year. It's an award from the Southern Plains Tribal Technical Assistance Program. Ms. Hayes says her work is possible because of the strong support of the Chickasaw Nation.
We just want to provide safety for our children and for tribal members and anyone else that will come. Whenever I know I did something right in a car seat, I know that kid's safe.
She says 4 out of 5 safety seats are not properly installed. That's why the car safety seat checks are important. The Chickasaw Nation's Child Development and Head Start programs host safety checks throughout the year. Chickasaw citizens of all ages have an opportunity to learn a new craft and create art year-round. The Chickasaw Nation offers a variety of workshops during the month and on weekends. At the Artesian Gallery and Studios in Sulphur, silk painting and weaving workshops are unique classes that have been offered. See the latest schedule of art classes held throughout the Chickasaw Nation at Chickasaw.net. Those art workshops really do inspire creativity.
A Chickasaw man has discovered his love for art a little later in life.
This was my first attempt at oil painting.
In his short time painting, Larry Carter has produced several pieces of art.
I think this one is my favorite because of how powerful it is when people see that there's a face here. Their reaction to it is so strong.
He's only been painting since 2010. His favorite tool isn't a brush. He uses palette knives.
One thing with my technique of using a palette knife and really using thick paint is I think even someone who didn't see well could appreciate some of my work by feeling it. There's a lot of contour and depth in the actual thickness of the paint.
Rich color and contrast are prominent in his work. He often turns his canvas to give him direction and a different view.
I think it has helped me see the world differently and in a much better way. You know, I see things in the world now that I never paid much attention to before. You don't get a great sunset every evening, so I try to enjoy every one I get. In things that people think are blue or green, and in shadows, there's always colors. And I think being an artist has led me to that. I see colors that I never knew existed before.
The Chickasaw artist likes to place hidden native images in his paintings. It's a way to get people to look closely at his work and see the possibilities.
This is so free-flowing and has much more of a modern, fun feel to it. But I still like to find, find the warrior in there, or the buffalo hunt, or just an emotion from one snapshot in time of someone. The way I painted before, which was more completely representational and realistic, you know, a huge part of the painting might be the sky, and there would be a subject matter in it, be it a deer or an antelope or whatever. Well, I noticed that people looked at the subject matter and whether it was good or whether it was not so great. No one ever noticed that a good bit of time was spent on the sky. But when I do the abstract things and people know that there are things hidden in them, it forces everyone to look at every little square inch of my painting to see if there's something there. So everywhere that I painted, people look at with an interest.
Larry has had the opportunity to showcase his work. He participated for the first time in 2010 at the Southeastern Art Show and Market, part of the Chickasaw Nation annual meeting and festival.
The art that people produce there is out of this world. And the show that the Chickasaw Nation puts on for the artists and the hospitality is wonderful.
Being among other Native artists has inspired him to continue painting.
I think in my experience, it's something that I'd always wanted to do and always been afraid to try. And don't be afraid to take that step. Step out there and try the things that you want to try in life, and at least you'll know. An artist, especially one who does loose, broad things like I do, does it with emotion and gestures. And I think it's an important way for someone to share with the world their emotions. When someone passes a Larry Carter painting, I want them to stop and just reach out and grab hold of some part of their emotion.
It's really fun to watch him create using so much color. So what inspired him initially to take up painting? It was a few years ago he and his wife bought a painting of an elk at an estate sale. He then decided to create his own version of that oil painting. You saw that first oil painting in the feature story.
And that first oil painting has led now to dozens of other pieces. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of CNTV.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here soon.